Right, let's dive straight into this explainer from Module 05, focusing squarely on AI, text integrity, and detection. Today, we are looking strictly at the ethical boundaries of generative tools in research writing. The landscape is shifting incredibly fast, isn't it? But those core principles of professional integrity, they absolutely have to remain our strongest anchor. We're going to examine exactly how large language models fit into research, outline the strict rules of engagement, and look at why blindly relying on technology, whether that's to write your paper or to police it, poses some really significant risks.
First off, we have to acknowledge the absolute dual nature of this tech. It is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, large language models present fantastic opportunities for speed and accessibility when drafting. They can smash right through writer's block, help non-native speakers with fluency, and rapidly format references. Brilliant, right? But on the flip side, they simultaneously introduce severe risks of text fabrication and plagiarism. The exact same mechanism that makes them so speedy and accessible is exactly what makes them a massive danger to academic integrity if we don't manage them properly.
So what is the core threat here? Well, it's hallucination. You see, an AI is essentially just a very clever predictor of plausible next words. It is not a database of verified facts. Because it predicts what sounds plausible rather than what is actually true, it can confidently hallucinate entirely fabricated citations. And the real danger here is the confidence. A hallucinated output doesn't look like a glaring error. It looks like a perfectly formatted, highly relevant piece of evidence that, well, simply does not exist in reality.
To put that into perspective, let's look at a very real scenario that reviewers are catching more and more these days. Imagine a submission that cites 12 plausible papers that do not exist. We're talking entirely AI-fabricated authors, titles, and even digital object identifiers. If an AI drafts a methods section and casually drops in a dozen non-existent but highly plausible references, and you submit that unverified text, that constitutes serious research misconduct. You absolutely cannot blame the tool for the error. It's just doing what it was programmed to do. The failure there lies entirely in a lack of human oversight.
And that brings us to an absolutely crucial point. You must disclose your tools and own your words, because an AI cannot be held responsible for errors. It simply cannot take the blame. Therefore, there is no way it can be listed as an author. You, the human researcher, must own and verify every single word you submit. Whether you type the sentence yourself or prompted an AI to generate it, the second you submit that manuscript, it is your professional reputation guaranteeing its accuracy.
So where do we draw the line? This neatly lays out the operational boundaries. Using AI for grammar edits, improving your clarity, or structuring your own material, that is generally acceptable. It's like having a digital proofreader. Conversely, inventing data, fabricating citations, or using an AI summary as your own original thinking, which is known as idea laundering, those are strict violations. The fundamental question you always need to ask yourself is, am I using this tool to polish my own work, or am I asking it to invent content I haven't actually created?
Now let's talk about confidentiality, because this is a massive one. You must never paste unpublished results, review manuscripts, or any identifiable data into public models. Why? Because the moment you type a prompt into a public AI tool, that information may permanently leave your control and just get swallowed up into the model's training data. Unpublished data and confidential peer-review manuscripts are literally not yours to leak. Always use approved, secure tools if you need to process text, and keep sensitive data strictly offline.
To maintain those rigorous standards, this checklist is quite literally your best defense. Most journals and institutions now mandate disclosure. They require you to clearly state which tool was used and exactly how you used it, usually tucked into the methods or acknowledgement section. On top of that, you really should treat your AI interactions like lab records. Keep your prompts, your drafts, and your version histories on file as proof of provenance. If your work is ever questioned down the line, these records are exactly what will protect your integrity.
So with all these risks of hallucination and idea laundering in mind, an essential question is floating around the publishing world right now. Can we simply rely on automated AI detectors to maintain research integrity and catch the bad actors? It sounds like the perfect technological fix to a technological problem, doesn't it?
Well, the stark reality is a bit of a wake-up call. These detectors offer probability odds, not absolute proof. They are fundamentally imperfect. Furthermore, there's a very well-documented risk of false positives, where they end up flagging perfectly honest work, particularly by non-native English speakers. Because of this, leading policies explicitly bar making disciplinary decisions based solely on a detector score. Human judgment, open dialogue, and reviewing a researcher's comprehensive version histories, those remain the ultimate and quite frankly the fairest defense against both plagiarism and false accusations.
Which brings us to a really vital concluding thought. We are operating in an environment where the standards, the evasion tactics, and the tools themselves continue to evolve at breakneck speed. You simply cannot outsource your ethics to a machine. So you have to ask yourself, if AI can seamlessly hallucinate data and the very tools designed to catch it are deeply flawed, are your daily verification habits truly rigorous enough to safeguard your professional integrity? It is a huge question, and it's one every modern researcher absolutely must answer for themselves.